Hey, everybody. I hope everybody's doing great out there in this wonderful world. I got Tony Fortunato today of the tech firm. Not only is
Hello.
he's not only a good guy, but he's an old friend that puts up with me. So that makes him almost saintly. Okay. But Tony's going to be doing some pretty cool stuff here. He's going to be doing some courses. Now, Tony doesn't teach like the pontificators of life. Tony teaches you by showing you and working with you and helping you. And later he may giggle about it, but he doesn't do it in your face.
No.
No, no. but but Tony does have a unique way of teaching people, and both of us have been on Wireshark for quite a while. And I go back a little bit further than Tony. I knew Gerald when he decided to start writing Wireshark or Ethereal back in those days,
Yep.
because he had the university had a sniffer, but he couldn't get access to the sniffer all the time. So he decided, I'm going to write my own. So that's what he did. And then over the years, you see these people come and go that think they know analysis, network analysis. And so Tony's been a practitioner for over a year or two. Um, and
31 or 2 years.
he's only 19. Give him a
That's
break.
right.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, but Tony's really got a cool class coming up. I wish I could take it, but um, he doesn't want to listen to me anymore. So Tony's going to really do a good job. So Tony, kind of tell us about how you're teaching mythology. Okay, no pontification, and you get in there with your own shovel and dig in the dirt.
Yep, pretty well. So it's going to be 2 days of just working. It's not a whole lot of reading. We're going to read a little bit at the beginning to get ourselves oriented, but I'm relying on the group to ask questions. If not, trust me, I'll ask more questions than you will. We're going to make sure people work with each other. We're going to collaborate. We're going to find out everybody's strengths and weaknesses. At one point, I bet you any money the group will figure out the answer without me helping them at all, which is always a good thing to see. And I'm going to give you a variety of problems. We're going to have intermittent problems. We're going to have setup issues, baselining issues. We're going to have network configuration issues. We're going to have server configuration issues. We're going to have application issues. We're going to do all sorts of security stuff. And when I say security, I mean things that don't look right that could be construed as either a red herring and it's not a security issue, or it's a valid security issue. I'll show you a DDoS trace. We'll probably get like an Xmas scan. We'll do some port scanning stuff. All hands on. I'm going to give you some trace files. You're gonna come into the lab and pull them down. And guess what? Everything you do will be an opportunity to take a trace and another baseline. And everybody's computer's different. Everybody's network's different. Everybody's stack is different. And we're going to find out what that means. We're going to look through the TCP stack. We're going to do a TCP three-way handshake signature. We're going to find out what all those options mean in real life, when they matter, when they don't matter, how to skim, because sometimes you don't need to dig in, how to
Right.
use Wireshark. Like, why do I look at that here? You know what? Let's just do this real quick. I'm going to share my screen and I'll just quickly jump into it because I know for a fact everybody wants to see what I'm talking about. I'm Italian and moving my hands is not helping now. So we have like a trace file, right? This trace file, it could be 14 packets, 14,000 packets. What are you looking for? When do you turn on the packet details? When do you turn on the packet bytes? All these simple, seems like an obvious question. They're not. There's way too many depends when we start going through it. The profile on the bottom. Why are we using profiles? When do you use profile, right? All the things we need to know to get the traffic, to get the packets. We're going to work on some problems where we don't even fix the problem with Wireshark, because Wireshark is just another tool in your box. I'm going to show you other tools you should have in your box. Some are free, some aren't free. We're going to look at taps. We're going to look at traffic generators. We're going to look at WAN emulators. 2 days of just working away. And the best thing, I told Tim earlier, the best way to describe it, you're coming into the pool for 2 days. I'd rather have you in the pool rather than reading about swimming. And that's what we're doing. And every time we hit an issue, we just work backwards through the theory, the standards, anything we need to do to backfill, and then we move on.
That sounds great, man. So many classes are, I call them pontification classes, where they teacher stands up there and talks about a bunch of stuff, and The difference is going to be action. You're going to be actually digging in. You'll know how to set filters up in Wireshark. You'll understand the colors of filters. You'll understand what to look for, which is the most important thing. And just one thing, nobody knows everything about networks, okay? But the good news is if you work with this class, you're going to find some people in there that are going to wind up being network friends.
Yep.
Collaborators. You're going to have Tony you can reach out to when he's not in jail. And, maybe while he's in jail, they'll give him a computer.
Yeah,
And
sometimes. Yeah.
sometimes it depends on how good he's been.
Minimum security.
But no, the real cool thing about it is I've known Tony a long time. He really knows what he's talking about. And if he doesn't, and he finds something he doesn't know, he's open to saying, I don't know it, but I'll find out an answer.
Yeah. The first day of class, Tim, I joke with the students and I say, if you ever come across somebody who says, I know, even before they look at something, stay away from them.
Yep.
Avoid them at all costs.
Right. We've been there. We've seen those people. But the neat thing is what Tony actually teaches you is at the end of the class, you learn how to dig in to situations. And if you don't know the answer, he teaches you how to go find the answer.
Right.
And one of the cool things, like I said earlier, is you develop friendships of people in this industry.
Yep.
And trust me, I've been doing this for over 50 years, and having friends and people that you can rely on and turn to for help is one of the best tools you'll ever have in your career in doing networking, whether it's security, application, whatever. Having that friendship and that professional relationship is just awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Sure.
So
I'm going to show another quick example before we wrap it up, because people want to see more tech stuff and less of us. Okay. So for example, Microsoft, we cover good old traceroute, and we talk about things like parameters that you probably don't use too much, like the maximum hop and do not resolve. Why do you use that? When do you use that? Why does it matter? And then a lot of people still don't know this command, and this has been around since Windows XP-ish. It's path ping. Path ping is a pretty cool Microsoft tool. And what it does is it combines a trace route and a ping. We talk about what the differences are between a regular ping and a path ping and the reporting differences. We also cover simple little things that you probably don't pay too much attention to, like ARP. Like, what's your ARP table? How do you clear your ARP table? Right? How do you display your DNS table? How do you flush that? How do you flush your DNS table? How do you prove that it got flushed? How do you know how often an ARP cache is actually refreshed or a DNS table is refreshed? All of these things are day-to-day things that if you did not know, now you know. But more importantly, you know when to look for this stuff and why to look for this stuff. So if I do this right in 2 days, people should be either going away to do stuff at work to say, I wonder what this looks like on my application or my problem. Or while we're working on stuff in class, people normally say to me, hey, Tony, I'm working on this problem, such and such and such. Does that the same kind of thing you're doing now? And sometimes it is, and I'll explain. And sometimes it's not. And sometimes I don't know. I'm like, yeah, I don't know enough. You want to share a trace file? Do you want to work on that? And then sometimes people share with the group things they're working on, right? And sometimes say, I think I've got this trace file, but I can't interpret it. And if they want to share it, I show people how to use tools to obfuscate your MAC addresses and anonymize, or however you want to say it, change the parameters in your trace file. So if you do share it, it doesn't have your real IP, you're not sharing any passwords in the trace file, so on and so on and so on. We'll even cover a bit of Wi-Fi. I'll give you a Wi-Fi trace. I'll explain why you can't decrypt certain trace files and why you can and how, and then everybody will run through that together. And you can see even this path ping, right? This path ping's taken a while because it's going to ping every single hop 100 times. And off it goes to the races, and it's actually returning packet loss, round trip time. And it's kind of neat. So if you had one spot where things were a little, like, this is a cool way to find out. Instead of a trace route and then manually pinging every single hop, and the intervals are different between a Microsoft ping and a path ping, and we'll find out by looking at a trace. I'm not going to tell you what that is, so on and so on. And so, like I said, this is everyday stuff, right? Everyday stuff. Like, everything I do in 2 days should relate to what you've been doing either at home, at work, even at school. If you're a student and you want to take this, like, if you're going to be doing any kind of network troubleshooting, forget Wireshark for a second. You should know a lot of the basics. And if you don't know, we're going to find out as we go through it.
That's great. I mean, I think the point you made also was cool, is that it doesn't matter if you do this every day, or you're a student, or
Mhm.
you're learning to do this to enhance your job, your position,
Mhm.
okay, or just to increase your knowledge.
Right.
The class that begins to teach you all the basics and the who done it, where did it and happen, and how many times did it happen.
Right. Exactly.
So,
Yeah, you got
yeah.
it.
So if you got time, people, take this class. It's awesome. I've known Tony for more than a couple of days, and he's my go-to guy if I have a question on networks. And that's either usually I try to get to him before I take a sledgehammer to it, but
Mm.
sometimes you just got to get its attention. But but you're going to love this class, and you're going to have fun with Tony. I've known him a long time, and he is a lot of fun to be around, and he makes learning fun. Trust me. So if you get a minute, you got the time, take these classes. You will never regret it, ever. I guarantee you. Okay.
Thanks, Tim.
Take care, buddy. I hope you have great success, and I know that the students will enjoy it and learn a lot. Okay.
Awesome.
Take care. Be safe, buddy. Take
Thanks,
care,
man.
everybody. Be well.